Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to Kingdom Business Builders with Clay Clark. All right, we're going to bring Clay on in just a minute. First, quick updates. Kingdom Collagen. Get your Kingdom Collagen. Great stuff. Many people are putting it in coffee as your creamer. There's so much junk in creamer, so skin health, many benefits. Grab that today. Also, Purely Prepared Patriot. 40% off. No prescription hydroxychloroquine, fenbin, ivermectin. Grab that today. Also, with the price of gold going way, way up, you can get the His Glory Lion of Judah coin. You can get that in gold. That's 1/5 ounce, or you can get it in silver, the Judah 1 ounce. Actually, that coin is less expensive than the Eagle. And then the gold coin, with gold going up, you get it in 1/5 ounce. It's easier to take with you or hide. Click on the QR code today to our partners, Beverly Hills Precious Metals. And last, Billion Soul Partner. Join us and reach reaching 1 billion souls for our King of King and Lord of Hosts. Any recurring donation of $30 or more, you get the book, All for His Glory, The Trip to Heaven, and coming back and starting the ministry called By His Name, His Glory, and also registering for a trip to go to either Israel or Greece, and our Footprints of Paul coming in 2026. All right, that's the updates. It's time for the business builder, Clay Clark. Welcome, Clay.
Brother, I'm excited to be here with you today. And for anybody who might have missed what you just said, gold is sitting there right now over $3,400. And I've told people this. I tell people, if you're watching the His Glory Network, you almost get paid to watch the show. What am I saying? If you've been listening to Dave and the His Glory team for the past 4 or 5 years and you've been diligently buying gold, the price of gold has migrated up to $3,400 an ounce. So for anybody out there watching today's show, if you have yet to schedule a consultation with a precious metals dealer of your choice, I would highly recommend you do that. Also, I will tell you, most precious metals dealers, I happen to buy from Beverly Hills Precious Metals, but most precious metals dealers, they will take an ounce of gold and they'll sell it in like a quarter ounce or a half ounce, as you mentioned earlier. So if you say, wow, $3,400 an ounce seems unapproachable or unaffordable, talk to your precious metals dealer about buying maybe a half an ounce of gold or a quarter ounce of gold, because again, this is an opportunity for you, if you're watching today's show, to dramatically benefit from the increase in the value of gold. So Dave, I know we're not on a gold show today, but I just want to hammer home. I mean, you have been correct for 4 and 5 years. Your guests have been correct over the past 4 and 5 years. Gold is now at $3,400 an ounce. Amazing.
And it's going nowhere but up still.
Now, this video I'm going to share with you guys, I want to start off by sharing the little testimonial video. This client, Dave, has been with me for 10 years. So you'll have to pray for this man, okay? This man has been a client of mine for 10 consecutive years. You'll have to pray for his, for him to have patience and diligence and increasing his patience there. You want to pray for this guy that his tenacity to deal with constant harassment from me goes up. But this is his website. It's called The Garage BA. All right. And this is his website here. It's called The Garage BA. He also has RC Auto Specialist. So he has The Garage and he has RC Auto Specialist. You say, what does he do? This is a man out here that he repairs automobiles. So he does an automotive repair company called The Garage BA. And he also has a diesel repair company called RC Auto Specialist. And I want you to hear his story, because if you're watching today's show and you have a business and you feel stuck, just like Roy Cogshaw did, we can help you. Here we go, folks. What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue, maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.
Could you talk about just maybe with the impact it's made on you, knowing that, okay, I'm going to pay this guy this amount of money. I'm not going to get a random fee or a random charge, or he's not going to, go, oops, we had 2 calls, so it's more, or wow, we didn't meet this week, so it's less. Can you talk about just knowing in your mind that you got the graphic design, the photo, the video, the web, the search, the ads, all of that is a monthly thing?
Yeah, not too long ago, I looked at what the average percentage of sales was spent on marketing, and I'm like half of the bottom number is what spent on marketing. Obviously, my marketing's working because we're tracking it, right, and the sales growth. And as far as the SEO, and I've messed up and didn't send money to the hosting service and crashed my website. Clay had it back up in half a day. It's really great to have somebody to call, just fixes it. I can do it. I do. You do it. You do. So it's very powerful to me to have somebody that no matter what's going on, no matter what crashes, you can take care of it. And I'm very convinced that it's a great bargain. I don't know how you do what you do as cheap as you do.
Okay, so Dave, that's a case study of a real person. I want to get your thoughts on this, Dave. There's parallels to having a business coach and having a spiritual mentor. I'm certainly not a spiritual mentor, but there's parallels. Dave, I believe Chuck Missler is the guy that made a big impact on your life. Chuck Missler. For anybody out there that doesn't know that, could you share with the listeners out there who Chuck Missler was to you and what kind of impact he made on your ministry?
Chuck was a incredible mentor. He knew the Bible very well, and he had this way of just being able to show the Bible in a way that I gravitated to. I think it was because he didn't come in as a pastor. He started in the corporate world. He had a military background, and when he explained something, he would do it like in a military format, very detailed, very structured, and that's something I gravitated to.
And it doesn't mean that, you were less than, that you needed a spiritual mentor. It doesn't mean that I'm less than, that I have an accounting firm that I hire to help me. It didn't mean that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were not competent people, but they both hired the same physical fitness coach. I don't know if people know that. Both Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan had the same personal trainer. Why? Because they knew that to perform at the next level, they needed someone to push them. And that's what I do as a business consultant. So it's not that Roy, that gentleman on the testimonial video, it's not that he was an incompetent person. It's just he was a highly skilled technician who repaired cars, but he did not know how to successfully grow a business. So I want to teach today 5 action steps that everybody watching today's show can apply. Step number 1, we want to aim to wow. So if you own a business or if you're an employee, your goal has to be to aim to wow. Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 says, "Therefore all things whatsoever ye that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets." What am I talking about? I'm talking about is that if you're a business owner out there, people are going to judge you based upon the quality of the service that you provide. If you're an employee, people are going to judge you based upon the quality of the service that you provide. So we as a Christian in the marketplace, we want to over-deliver. We want to wow. We want our boss to say, "What is going on with that Dave guy? He's always at work early. He always stays late. He knocks out everything on his to-do list. Wow, what's going on with that call center representative? They call everybody. They work so much harder than we expect them to do. What's going on with that guy who works in our customer service team? What's going on with that framer that we've hired? What's going on with that plumber that we've hired? What is going on with that roofer we've hired? And what's going on with that automotive repair company we've hired?" And so when starting to work with Roy, the first thing we did is I said, we have to aim to wow. And so we made a checklist of the sights, the sounds, the smells. We all know what it's like to get a car repaired. Typically, you go sit in a lobby where they have stale popcorn and they have beverages that don't make any sense, and the guy that greets you has dirty hands. I said, let's make the lobby awesome. Let's bring in the best music. Let's have great music. Let's have great decorations. Let's offer people gourmet cookies. Let's make the lobby a place that people want to go to. Let's make the lobby something that wows people. And we focused on it. We made a detailed checklist of sights, sounds, smells. And what happened, Dave, is more and more customers started coming and going, "Wow," literally, "Wow, this place is awesome." And you know what that did? That turned people that had their car repaired into referrals. So once people are wowed, they tend to refer now. It's called the law of reciprocity. Everybody out there, once you're wowed, you tend to want to refer people now. It's a cathartic thing you do. Once you have a great experience, you tell people, "Wow, that place was awesome." So if you're right now watching today's show and you have a job or you own a business, I want you to work as unto the Lord and aim to wow. That's step number 1. Think about it. What can you do? Practical action steps. Be the first one to work. Be the last one to leave. And always ask your boss what you can do to make their life better before you leave the office. "Hey, boss, I'm on my way out, but before I go, is there anything I can do for you to make your life better?" That's a practical tip if you're an employee. If you're a business owner, aim to wow. Make a checklist of sights, sounds, smells. What can you do to wow that customer experience? Step number 2, you got to be consistent. And the Bible talks about this. I'm going to read it to you. Proverbs 22 through 29 says, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men." Dave, we've got to be consistent. And I think sometimes if we're not careful, we get excited about a new idea. We get excited about a new business. We get excited about a new job. We get excited about a new girlfriend. We get excited about new furniture. Dave, we get excited about a new car. Your listeners don't do this. But what happens is a lot of times we get addicted to new. What we have to do is we have to be consistent. So I encourage everybody out there, get out a sheet of paper right now and write down a checklist for I call it the 7 F's, but go ahead and write it down. This is your daily checklist of things that you're going to do as you work as unto the Lord. Make a daily checklist of the things you're going to do as you work as unto the Lord in the following 7 areas. Faith. What are you going to do with your faith today? And when are you going to do it? Block out time in your calendar for your faith. Your family, what are you going to do? And when are you going to block out time for that? So tonight, I'm taking my wife and our kids and our extended family out because it's Tuesday night. And every Tuesday, we have family night, and it's in my schedule, and that's why it happens. So faith, family, finances. What are you going to do with your money as it relates to the kingdom? How much will you give? Set it and forget it. Faith, family, finances, fitness, friendship, fun, and focused attention. I'll give it to you one more time. Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun, and focused attention. And Dave, if we're very intentional about where we put our time and we have a diligent, consistent mindset towards that, we are going to have massive success.
Exactly. It's the attention to detail, and make sure you're not forgetting any of those, because family, friend, faith is the most important. We put God first, and it has to start in our life. It's got to start in our day, putting God first, and everything else will fall into place perfectly. All right. We'll be right back with Clay right after this. Times are changing.
Silicon Valley Bank, they can talk about poor management. I know a lot has been said about that.
So all this stuff that they called us crazy about years ago is now all of it's coming true.
He said that there's instability everywhere. It's panning out today, certainly in the banking sector. For how long is anyone's guess?
I'm gonna probably pick up some more too, because I know it's happening and I feel it happening.
The reason I call it God's money is you can't fake it. You know, you can fake it with a fake ETF, like a gold ETF or a silver, which I don't touch because it smells as bad as the guys that printed that crap.
Sorry, March into April into May. So it's going to be crazy what's coming, and those that are prepared are just really going to be celebrating like they've never celebrated before.
You need to have those smaller coins to be able to barter with. Visit our partner, Beverly Hills Precious Metal Exchange, on His Glory Family Partners.
80% of people use CBD products for 3 reasons: anxiety, sleep, and pain.
If a product does not work, I do not promote it. But not only does this work, it has helped my sleep the last 2 months like I've never slept before.
We're just absolutely thrilled to announce this buy one, get one for the His Glory customers.
It's absolutely amazing. Everybody needs to use this. And we are back with Clay Clark. Clay, we'll kick it back to you.
All right. So again, we're trying to teach everybody out there how to have success. Why? So that you can earn more, so that you can build a bigger business, so you can make a bigger impact in ministry, so you can share the gospel at scale, so you can sow seeds into ministries that you believe in. And I want to make sure we're recapping. I want every single time that I have the opportunity to be on your podcast or broadcast, I want to make sure we're offering a lot of practical steps that everybody can immediately implement. So step number 1, aim to wow, okay? Work as unto the Lord and not as unto human masters. If you are an employee, I'm telling you, if you're a Christian employee, be the first one to work, the last one to leave, and ask your boss, what can I do to improve today? Do it every single day, and I promise you, you'll stand out, you'll get promoted, you'll make more. If you're a business owner, aim to wow the customer. Make it your goal, not just to satisfy, but to wow. Not just to satisfy, but to wow. Step number 2, be consistent. Man, I talk about that a lot. I consistently talk about being consistent in my office. You know, every single day, true story, as God is my witness, I am always in this office previous to 5 a.m. Why? Because I set the standard. I'm not saying that I win a lifetime achievement award for working hard. I'm just saying is I set the standards. And what standards? And one of the penalties of being a leader is you have to set the standard. It doesn't mean you have to be the first one to work or the last one to leave, but you've got to set the standard and you've got to be consistent. In this world of inconsistency, people will gravitate towards the coffee shop that can consistently provide the coffee. They will gravitate towards the automotive repair shop that consistently wows. They will gravitate towards the bakery that consistently wows. And so just as some examples, I'm going to pull it up on the screen real quick here. A longtime listener to your show, also a guest on your show, a person from the Reawaken Tour, Beloved Cheesecakes, Dave. This lady has doubled the size of her business this year. She's a Christian. What is she doing? She is wowing her customers. We talked about RC Auto Specialists. What are they doing? They are wowing their customers. Step number 3, as we're taking notes here, seek wise counsel and follow proven systems. This is so important for people to know this. The Bible talks about this. this in the book of Proverbs. It says here, he says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall suffer harm. And I think a lot of people, what happens is we're taking advice from somebody on YouTube, Dave, that doesn't revere the Bible as the ultimate source. And so we're listening to somebody who's willing to take advantage of people to make a quick buck. We've got to seek out wise counsel from believers. That's Proverbs 13:20. But Dave, I'm sure you've seen it before. You've seen a business guy who's claims to be a Christian or maybe intends to be a Christian, and all of a sudden they team up with a weed shop to make a fortune. All of a sudden they team up with a casino to make a fortune. All of a sudden they start selling something that violates God's laws in order to make a buck. And I see it happen all the time. And I would just encourage everybody out there, seek out wise counsel from Christians.
Absolutely. It's got to be God driven. If the Lord is in it with you and you're giving him the glory and putting him first, he will bless it.
Now, folks, step number 4, solve problems that people are actually willing to pay to solve. What? It turns out a lot of people watching today's show have a lawn and they don't want to mow it. You could be the lawnmower. It turns out a lot of people have hair that keeps growing and you don't want to cut it. You could be the hair cutter. It turns out a lot of people have cars that break down and they don't want to repair them. You could be the automotive repair shop. And it's so important we have a very realistic, objective worldview as it relates to the products or services we provide. Because if we're selling something that people don't want, nothing is more sad than watching a sound-minded individual spend their entire lifetime trying to sell a product that people don't want. And so if you're looking for ideas, if you say, Clay, I want to start a business, but I don't know how, or I have a business and I want to grow that thing, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, Dave, one of the great things about our workshops is we have, obviously, Tim Tebow is going to join us for the June conference, June 5th and 6th. Tim Tebow will join us June 5th and 6th right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We also have Eric Trump joining us here September 25th and 26th. Eric Trump is joining us September 25th and 26th. But when you're in the room at the conference, you're surrounded by actual entrepreneurs, doctors, dentists, lawyers, automotive repair shops, landscapers, photographers, videographers. True story, Dave. At one of our conferences we just had, a unique thing happened where I'm at the conference and there's a guy seated there who's been a client of mine for almost 10 years. And next to him is his kid, who the last time I remember seeing this kid, they were probably 12 or 13. And Dave, they are diligently implementing the systems that I've been teaching the father. And now that the daughter comes up to me and she says, just so you know, Mr. Clark, my dad has been coaching me. So I know you coach my dad, but my dad's been coaching me. And my photography business, my wedding photography business, just made me a profit of $100,000 in my first year of business. Wow. And I went to college. I studied a thing. It wasn't viable in the marketplace. I tried to use my degree. It wasn't working. And I remember at one of your conferences, you were sharing the story about your wedding photography company. And so I reached out to my dad. I said, Dad, could you teach me? And now this daughter of one of my longtime clients is making $100,000 a year as a wedding photographer with no previous experience, but she got that idea from the conference. Another example at the last conference, we had a car wash owner seated next to one of our attendees. And the car wash owner was seated next to an attendee who was trying to find their next business idea. And the car wash owner says, hey, I bought a car wash. And they say, well, how did you afford it? He said, well, I went to the car washes and I asked them if they would sell the company. And everyone said no, but one guy said, yeah, I'll sell it to you. And he said, well, I don't have any money, but I want to buy it. And the owner said, well, why don't we do an owner finance deal where I'll sell the business to you and you can make payments to me over the next 10 years and I can essentially retire by selling my car wash to you. And that's what this guy did. And now he owns a super successful car wash. So that was a no money, no down purchase of a car wash. So again, if you're stuck right now and you feel in any way, shape, or form stuck, come to one of our in-person workshops. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. You can meet Tim Tebow. You can hear from Eric Trump. You're going to learn how to start and grow a successful company. This is my 20th year doing that. And if you use promo code HISGLORY, by the way, folks, you have a chance to win a backstage pass so you can meet Eric Trump or you could meet Tim Tebow. But even if you don't have a backstage pass or you don't have a VIP ticket, you can pay whatever price you want to pay. It's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And Dave, I don't want anybody to be stuck. I've been self-employed since I was 15 years old, Dave. So I don't know any other path, really. I mean, I've worked at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV to fund everything. But Dave, there's somebody watching today's show, and they feel stuck. And Dave, you've been to the workshops before.
Yep.
I mean, can you maybe share from your perspective? Because I think somebody is watching today's show, and they feel a little stuck. And you know how these conferences get people unstuck.
Well, there's a guy that was at your last conference that works for a big corporation that wants to get out of that big corporation, was there to start a business to take on Nike. And that is going to be coming out here in the near future. So some people just say, you know what, I'm tired of working for corporate America. I want to do my own thing. And he was right in the front row of your last event.
Yeah, and I think there's so many examples, but like Dr. Sherwood, who's been on your show, Dr.
Yep.
Sherwood has come to our conferences, and he was humbly and faithfully treating patients all over the country, helping them lose weight and feel great. And I think through the conferences, he met you, you met him, and now what a great thing that the Kingdom of Fuel line of products has become the Sherwood.tv line of products. There's so many examples that I just encourage everybody out there, if you're selling cheesecake, you're a home builder, Aaron Antis, who's been on your broadcast multiple times, he came into my life. He was stewarding over or managing a company that did 14 million of sales. And over a 6-year span of working with Aaron, we grew Shaw Homes to over $150 million of sales. So if you're watching today's show and you feel even remotely stuck, I want you to go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com to learn more and request tickets for our June 5th and 6th conference. Final step I want to give you on today's show, Mark 8:36. It says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul?" What am I saying? I'm saying if you need confidence, this is how you do it. If you're saying, I want to have confidence, how do I gain confidence? Confidence just means this. It was taught to me by a wise mentor back in the day who was a pastor. He said, Clay, confidence just means that in this instance, you are confiding in yourself that you are doing what God wants you to do. Let me try it again. He said, Clay, confidence is just confiding in yourself that during this instance, you're doing what God's called you to do. You say, Clay, how do you teach your cold callers to make calls in my office? I tell them, confide in yourself that in this instance, you're doing what God wants you to do. We're selling a great product that helps great people. Let's not feel bad about calling people. You say, Clay, how do you teach a motivational speaker how to deliver a speech with more clarity, more enthusiasm, and more confidence? You just want to confide in yourself that during this instance, you're doing what God has called you to do. And you can't have that undivided integrity mindset if you're selling something that hurts people. So it's impossible to have actually a Christ-inspired enthusiasm and confidence if you're selling products and services that take advantage of people and that injure people. So if you're watching today's show and you're feeling convicted right now and you're in an industry where maybe you're selling something that violates God's laws, or maybe you work for a corporation that's pushing a narrative. One lady, I met her at the Reawaken tour out there in Oregon. True story. She was a high-level executive in Big Pharma, and she knew what was in those shots, and she's known what was in the shots, and she knew the agenda of the shots, and she'd been making millions of dollars to push that narrative for years. And she felt convicted with the Holy Spirit, and she says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk away from that industry and I'm going to pivot into something else. And this lady, I won't give out all the details, but she became an influencer. She became a whistleblower. She became a household name for a lot of people. And now she's found a niche for herself where she's making great money, basically educating families about the danger of big pharma and the danger of these shots, the danger of the mRNA technology. But again, is she making the money she used to make? No. She's probably making half as much. Is she helping people? Yes. Does she feel better? Yes. Is she filled with confidence? Absolutely. So again, if you're watching today's show and you feel stuck, you want to take your career to the next level, just go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. Dave, a lot of information, and you know how much I enjoy painting you into the corner as we wrap up each broadcast. So Dave, back to you.
Yes, that's perfect, Clay, because you know what? Everybody could have a great idea, but what sets you apart from everybody else is execution. You put a step process to make sure that you execute on that idea. And without the execution, you could have the greatest idea in the world and it won't flourish. So execution is extremely important, and you deliver that and more.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4, 1,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and people that parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 a.m. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group, I was so impressed. Because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So, Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about, is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to 100% growth. We're like a full functioning company. It's great. We're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly, incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something, and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay. And let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.